Eenrum in the north of Holland, just 18 kilometres away from Groningen. And we're here for European Championships solo grass tracking action. A beautifully prepared course here. And the heats have been quite extraordinary, with Robert Fortune out there for Britain. As we move into the first semi-final situation, let's just quickly check the points. And you can see two British riders at the top there ahead of Paul Ellens, and Armando del CHIELE for Italy tied. And those are how the points look further down the field. So we've got two semi-finals and then the big final for you on go. And you can see there the layout with the red helmet on the inside and the black and white helmet on the outside. And a very, very good start there for KUGELMANN, who's taking that inside line and taking full advantage of it. He's being challenged by Ellens, Paul Ellens, the Dutch rider, who's in turn being challenged by Fortune, who's taking an inside line. He's taking him on the inside too. But Ellens, I think, has got a slightly faster line. I'm not sure. Fortune is now into second place. KUGELMANN riding a storming race. And who's that who's gone down? That's Václav Milic. And the race will be red flag for that one. Let's hope he's okay. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, he just lost the front wheel. He's very, very lucky that Johnny Anderson, the Danish rider, didn't take him out. So he's out of it, and we go for a restart there. So KUGELMANN on the inside, as before. Ellens, Dolman, Fortune, Anderson. Another good start, although he let his front wheel come up a fraction, and I think he's lost the advantage, and he has lost the advantage to Ellens. So Ellens moves into the lead. KUGELMANN was second, but there's lots of action around the outside, and Ellens actually has stormed down that back straight, and these boys travelling at speeds in excess of 70 miles an hour down the straights there. KUGELMANN taking a slightly wider line and being challenged there quite hard by Fortune again. So Fortune in third, but Ellens just miles and miles away at the moment. Whoa! And Fortune got a bit faster. They're having a good rough and tumble, these two. So KUGELMANN and Fortune pushing for second place, and they're all gaining on Ellens now. Ellens has got to watch out. Whoa! I'd say that Fortune ought to watch out, and that's a terrible crash. Fortune smashing into the perimeter fencing. The man who came into these semi-final situations with a perfect 3-win heat score. Look at it again. Whoa! And he just collects the back wheel of KUGELMANN, but worse than that, he collects the bike and he collects the perimeter fence. And the paramedics are on the way, and we just hope it's not too serious. His head took a terrible pounding there. So this first semi-final, we have yet to get a result for. He's not moving, he's still unconscious. We see this from the back. There's KUGELMANN looking over his shoulder, making sure he's fine. Fortune slides wide and just catches his front wheel. Now this is where it goes really bad. He gets tangled up with the bike, and then his head just whiplashes as he hits the perimeter fencing, which you'll notice does absorb quite a lot of the impact. So we hope he's all right. We'll bring you news of that later on. Meanwhile, it's a restart. And I don't think we'll find KUGELMANN in this as well. So let's see how many we've got restarting. So, well, we're seeing Rennie Mortensen coming in as reserve, and you can see him second from your left there. He gets quite a good start. It's a bit wild, though. Hasn't done all that well in the heats, Mortensen. But it's Ellens again, who's out in the lead there, and Bob Dolman is challenging him, the South African rider who lives in Holland. And they are neck and neck and side by side. They don't seem to be worried about what's gone on before. Grasstrack racing is tough, and you nearly lost the back end there, Ellens. You better watch out for that, as Johnny Anderson is in third place. And you can see that Rennie Mortensen, as I said, he didn't have a very good heat situation, but Ellens has had a couple of wins so far. Dolman hasn't done all that well in the heats, but he's doing very well in the first semi, and that's when it really counts, although all the points are added up, of course. Well, that is a win for Bob Dolman, and Paul Ellens goes through in second, Johnny Anderson third, and it's good to have a result. It's the first result I've been able to give you. And Rennie Mortensen gets 2 points for fourth position. The second semi-final kicks off with Richard Masson, the British rider, in lane 1. And he comes to this semi-final with 13 points from the heats, and he's lost it just for the time being to Steven van der Helm, who's in the lead, but he's challenging again, MUSSON. And right behind him, it's Armando Dal Chiele who's having a go. Trying to get through past Steven van der Helm on the inside. MUSSON dictating the position through the big turns, but Chiele's now challenging Steven van der Helm. And he can't quite get it right, but Van der Helm in second then. And getting very close to Richard Masson. The trouble is, if he goes too far in, he has to go out wide like he's just done there, and that will allow Chiele to come through, I'm sure. Chiele very fast now and goes into second place, leaving Steven van der Helm in third place. And behind them, they're all strung out with the Henke Schneider and Rias Kadamaya and Massimo Moro, the other Italian rider. But that win goes to Richard Masson, and he's got 18 points now, and that leaves him very strong going into the finals with Armando Dal Chiele, 16 points, and Steven van der Helm with 12 points. So going into the final, look, you can see Ellens and Dal Chiele are sort of tied, so the battle's really going to be between them. Musson has got to be the big favourite. 12 is Ellens, of course. And on the inside, Bob Dolman. And he's pushing the whole field wide. But what a superb start by Richard Masson, who kept well clear of all this hassle and bustle. You can see Steven van der Helm and Paul Ellens having a go. And it's Steven van der Helm who's got second place at the moment on the outside. Bob Dolman is going for it. And Ellens has retaken that second spot now. So it's to and from stuff between Steven van der Helm and Paul Ellens. And you can see on the inside, Armando Dal Chiele is keeping out of trouble, actually. He's riding a very sensible race here. And Ellens is very, very consistent. A 5-5, a 2 and a 4 coming into this event. But Richard Masson out in front and looking every bit the star, as you see Armando Dal Chiele choosing his time right as he goes through. Oh, and Bob Dolman has gone down. There he is, lying by his machine. And even the final of this event looks as if it's got to be red flagged and stopped. He's on his feet. And you can see his girlfriend there. A restart then, and off we go again. Musson looking for as good a start as he had first time out, but they're not going to let him get away with that again. And Joachim Kugelmann actually blocked his path across the circuit. Kugelmann's in the lead. Musson's challenging hard. Paul Ellens is in it again, as is, of course, Armando Dal Chiele and Steven van der Helm. So there's Kugelmann, Musson on the inside. And number 6 is Steven van der Helm. Ellens challenging him. There's hardly anything between those three people back there, but Kugelmann's in the lead. Musson, I don't think, is going to be able to catch him. Armando Dal Chiele is having a real crack at hanging on to third spot, but is being challenged by Ellens and van der Helm, one on either side. And Richard Musson looks content because Joachim Kugelmann hasn't got that many points, and I don't think Musson would want to risk losing the points lead he's got so far. Second place would be enough for a win for him. So Kugelmann storming out in front. Musson quite nicely buffered in second place. I think it looks like Paul Ellens is going to be taking third. Yes, Paul Ellens just gets third from Armando Dal Chiele and Steven van der Helm in fifth place. A great win by Musson, and some good thoughtful riding by the British rider there, giving him just a 3 points lead over Ellens, and Armando Dal Chiele just 1 point away from Ellens.